Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Pick your main, choose a, define, encode your DNA. Define, choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your pick a class. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Sentinel. Saboteur. Psy-Freak. Commando. Deadeye. Psy-Freak. Psy-Freak chosen. Pick a Commando. Commando chosen. Pick a Psy-Freak chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're all ready, but for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your...
Let me introduce myself. I'm the
That's right. You can't...
You're trying to keep...
Guess left can be right, sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind. A reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family? Or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. one hand after the other. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed. Being used. Dead. All that exercise helps. Seems strong enough. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Locked up tight? Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. The energy isn't up. Put an end to it. Ooh. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You found one. You should. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need You handle.
better bid.
Now that you've seen the Nonno's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt.
Yeah.
From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. That's not true. She's the reason there's still unity, and the only one strong enough to keep the six... He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that the genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Googlide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Time to see what's above. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intention. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of life.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
That's right. Smack that spark out before it starts.
You don't have to be so harsh. It's such a little spark.
Take it out now while it's small.
There's always another spark.
There's Out-of-Date again. He's likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side.
Iatu Yao Mawa.
He believes the tribe's Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part.
Kabobe Farhi.
Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. The Sifu's door is always open for newcomers, but he cautions you. They let...
Sibi? Lapanen aginkanman. Geratna fal hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101. He heard you took Out of Date's side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping, something you have in common. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for... Your Muma invented Wung Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. He didn't expect that of you. You're the essence of a being born good. It seems that the darkness that's fallen on this land has all... He thinks you should reconsider and follow your heart instead of your mind. He offers you to return and take your place at his side when you've found out you've picked the...
Kara la wute.
And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Jagni's Stick Fort as soon as you can. He won't be able to guarantee your safety now.
Kampuf.
He says that not taking a side in the tribe war is the same as taking the other side. If you're not with them, you're against them.
Gelen denken of woodnea.
Goodbyes are not forever. They're not the end. He assures you that he is going to be the be-all and end-all before this is over. That's the Jagni tribe's fort. Their friendship can be a blessing or a curse. It's up to you. You're either a part of their solution to the tribe war or part of the problem. Let's see. Says they're wary of strangers. Thinks you should just put one paw ahead of the other and make your way up there.
Zata is the muy totloho. Kariesne statse. Paro, ya put.
The Jagni tribe wants to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. They want to vanquish the tribes, as the only way they can guarantee peace is through supremacy. The Sifu is determined to let the World Eaters destroy the Tree of Life, as it's part of their strategy to cleanse the world and start anew. He welcomes you to the Jagni fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. The news of a cold-blooded Ronin crossing the Great Wall. He's referring to your rampage through Bunker 101. It seems you don't mind a bit of blood on your... There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kid. Sometimes one memory can make another. Your Muma in the Sifu. Their kin must put an end to the war before war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen. Even if it tells you once. See. Anyway, you'll pass your old village on your way to the first rival outpost, but we've got no time to be sentimental. War doesn't wait. Says you were a quiet kid and is happy to see you working toward pro. The gatekeeper welcomes you back to the fort. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurred. Your key energy is too low. That's the stuff.
Ha!
Your key energy is all used up. That ain't bad. Better than nothing. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long lost in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? He says, but you need practice. Lots of... Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. You know you can't make up for lost time. You should know, practice makes perfect. She'll see you at the village square. She'll be waiting for you. There will be a surprise for you at the end, too. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says every little thing. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. That's the spirit. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would... You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able... He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. It seems you have a talent for this. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square right away. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. It's your future. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she's gone. She says it's not only about this moment and where you were going. You have to find yourself first, then everything else will follow. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. They look determined. Better watch out.
Emma tua moana.
He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think.
Emma tua moana.
He says that it's not too late for you to...
Vieri tutti ama sele mai multe.
There's no way they'll let you pass.
And sirignore Kitty.
He wants to know who you think you are.
And sirignore Kitty.
You'll have to face pain at some point. He offers to help you. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She's there for all disciples. That's her commitment as Sifu. And when she... The most important thing is that you... It's time to focus on your training now. Heart, doing what he does best? He asks if you could help him too before you leave for training. He'll talk to her, sure, but you know she wants you to accept responsibility. He suggests you get going and find him. He's curious to see what you found. He's all for renewal and has even considered making the trip out into the wilds to look for a bionucleus pool and refresh his DNA. He says it's about time you learned how and offers to teach you, starting with the scrap you found. The style might be... You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He's looking forward to seeing what you'll make next. Your Muma says it's about time you got here.
Andro?
Wants you to understand that you can do anything if you work really hard.
Andro?
She says she is eager to get started. You don't have much time left before the...
Mustiki muhka?
Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you.
Inga valdod.
Thanks you for being such a good student.
Kamonu.
Been working on a present for you, with the help of Gizmo and Wiz.
Inga valdod.
You should go see him and find... Catchy.
Inga valdod.
Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful.
Anora kapapom.
It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see.
Katjekto polupta.
Says it's not a record keeper, more like a companion.
Katjekto polupta.
Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder. It's been a long day.
Taterko baba sakting.
Everything ends. Both rest, and you'll find strength for tomorrow. Nothing could stop Luka Luka from setting the world on fire.
Antoro. Kensi. Kamonu.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. That's just adding fuel to the flames. Give it a last burst and you'll make it.
Amu.
Your Muma says this is it. The time has come.
Kensi.
Whatever happens, you need to know. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Let's see. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. Is gone. Revitalized. A group of Jagni warriors are already waiting for you at Myriad's Vespidut outpost. You should hurry there and help them storm the outpost.
Luiga uyupe.
Look, an emergency box from the old days, when you needed to pack a punch. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Soft. You're empty of ki. You're maybe not sure you want to leave. That notice board? Filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste. There must be a track somewhere in this brick town. Just hope it's not buried. This corner of the world is called Bricktown. This might be the end of everything as we know it. Morning is breaking. Never thought I'd see a clothes... You need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker rolling. You really put a spin on it. Nice and clear out today. Let's see. It's Peekaboo Park. Young ones love this sort of place. You're half dead. This one seems to be in good spirits, despite being left here for dead. Has heard
Bestilka.
asks you to do the right thing for the sake of your conscience. It's only through your inner conflict you're held accountable for your actions.
Unkiel.
Is grateful you chose that. You can't be good.
Fan that flame!
Beat out that spark.
It was so young.
Better to take it down now while you still can.
Fire catches. Eventually.
That's a myriad tribe outpost. More powers for you. Glad you covered that up. The Vespidat outpost, longtime home of the Myriad tribe. Says you need to hit them where it hurts, inflict as much suffering as possible. Clearly, you haven't come here to waste time. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. Back it was spot. Wrecked it. Give those twirly wheels a turn. Yes, the river tub's going down the drain. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. Says they've been treated fair, but is glad to see you. Hopes you'll treat the rivals with the same respect they treated them. Grateful that you're willing to move past this like them. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Better stay clear of the red ray. Here's the second line of defense. Red means danger. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it. Then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it blow. Kaboom! You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
Is the Moi
Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You've earned the privilege of carrying the tribe's weapon. Believed. Out of Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell, it seems you're making progress with the tribe. He had a feeling your positive outlook on life might be just what the Jagni tribe needs to complement theirs, which is somewhat darker. But Out of Date emphasizes that solving the tribe conflict won't matter unless you help make us. That's the sound of impending doom. Out of Date's premonitions of imminent disaster are true. The Porky-Puff needs to be handled. He says Goop is working on. You should get over there and see what you can do to help. The oil claimed this land a long time ago. There's news of a... That's a gnote. Easy prey for Lupin. For everyone else, they're a perfect mount and easily tamed if they are kept fed. A pip bush that's nom-nom for the gnotes. You move well. That there's Subnautica Station. Goop flounders around in there. The gooing of the water in the ground is spreading. Let's see. Says it's good to see you again. He's Goop. You might remember him from the old days when he tried to teach you how to swim. Goop says you were always so righteous as a child, and he can still feel it, even at a distance. Goop says memories fade surprisingly fast. We are all pieces of what we remember. It's only... He can't tell you much, as he didn't want to hear anything about it. He can't understand how someone could be so vicious, even though he knows there are reasons behind it. He understands you've returned to face Lupin. That's the destiny you've been carrying within yourself all these years. He says that the catastrophe back then didn't vanquish the good in you. It's still there, as bright as when you were a child. Now the time has come for you to remember. He understands why you seek revenge, but he doesn't think you realize how that'll make you feel once you claimed it.
See? On my side. Go, dog, go.
First best instincts can be truly awful.
The fun thing is always the right thing.
Next time, look at it with a
Duckly duck duck.
Awali
Figures the world is a goner.
Donat.
Even the thanks you for doing everything you could to de-goop the surf.
Yogia.
Wonders why you're flapping around with the Jagni. They spend too much. But hey, back to the
Yogia.
knows yesterday is already gone. It's what you do today and tomorrow that he can't leave the Subnautica station as the pollution has worn down the insulation of his. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the goo glide strong enough to fight the. It's not that it. Don't forget the past. Learn from it. You move with such confidence. You're galvanized. Daytime is a good time to be outside. Pick your path carefully by whatever you can see. Your reserves are tapped. That'll come in handy. The top of the world is so low down here. Toxanol's offshore drilling caused oily matter to spread with the rain and contaminate both the groundwater and open surf. The long-lasting effect looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework.
Mukam. Sairuya. Kompoga.
He's got the goo glide functional. You'll have a pull hook and a salvage net, but no armor, and an engine strong enough to break through the thick goo further out. There are lots of valuables left behind on the surf floor that the salvage net will enable you to haul. You just need... Goop says Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide, but instead of bullets, it flips quacks. Squeaky distractions for the triple attentive porky puff, which will give you time to get yourself in position. The best way to find quacks is to talk to Gulp. He has the bearings of the surf archipelago and knows where the quacks like to float. This means you'll have the privilege of visiting Gulp in the Sinky Dink. He'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find quacks. He only knows...